The physics lab bathroom in St. Scholastica's College, Manila in attendance, a girl and something no one would want in the bathroom. One student wanted privacy while conducting her bathroom business, so she checked into a rarely frequented bathroom beside the physics laboratory. All the other stalls were empty when she came in, and she had heard no one enter, so she was surprised to find a pair of black shoes standing outside her cubicle door. They stood there, perfectly still, seemingly waiting for her to finish, even while the other cubicles were unoccupied. Slightly unsettled, the girl looked away from the shoes, shifting her vision upwards only to find that a freakishly tall and ghostly nun was leaning on top of the cubicle door, leering at her with a sinister smile. Take note, whether or not the story is true, students from this school will agree that the bathroom beside the physics lab is truly unsettling. It has no mirrors, even though marks on the tile walls indicate mirrors had once hung there. Mysterious sightings are not new to students who wander near Bellarmine Hall. Not many know that this building used to house students back in the late 1950s until the 60s. As one of the older buildings on the campus, it's no surprise that urban legends now surround it. There is one old tale about a girl who couldn't escape the building's stairwell no matter how many steps she climbed up or down. According to some storytellers' accounts posted on the ADMU Freedom Wall, she would find a disfigured religious portrait on every floor, unable to escape it until the next morning. In other versions of the story, the girl did not escape at all and was trapped in the loop forever. Some students also believed that a specific spot in the building was haunted by an ominously friendly ghost. If you pass by and look at the right side of the third floor, you may sometimes find a girl or a white figure waving at you. You must wave back if this happens, said one student to Vantage magazine. Because if you don't, the spirit might appear right in front of you. Justin says that he and the other students would rather not figure out what the mysterious white figure is. If they leave it alone, maybe what or whoever it is will leave them be too. And he and his friends clearly have the best plan of action whenever they encounter something unexplainable, by saying nope and getting the hell out of Dodge. They've clearly watched enough horror movies to know that hunting for answers will only have a bad ending. University of Santo Tomas, UST, is the oldest university in the Philippines, and probably in Asia, so it shouldn't be a surprise that the university is rife with ghost stories. With its 400-year history, UST has survived everything from the Spanish colonial era to the Japanese occupation, both of which were some of the bloodiest periods of our time. For a while, UST's Sampaloc campus was converted into an internment camp by the Japanese to hold Americans under extremely bad conditions. While a lot of Americans died during that time, this story isn't about an American but the mysterious Dominican priest roaming UST's Lover's Lane and Benavides Park. One day, Rafael was rushing home to catch a UV Express after his last class ended late. He took the Lover's Lane shortcut to get to the nearest gate, and as he was walking, he felt the humid weather suddenly turn cool. Too much in a hurry to pay attention to that fact, Rafael kept walking and passed a figure strolling slowly towards him, wearing a Dominican habit that looked different, older than the ones the campus friars wore. When Rafael reached him, he bowed his head slightly and greeted the friar, still the respectful Catholic student no matter how much of a rush he was in. The friar didn't say anything, but when his eyes peered down as he was bowing his head, he saw that the friar had stopped walking, and his feet weren't touching the ground. The friar didn't greet him back. Raphael felt the air still, and his fight and flight instinct kicked into overdrive. He ran as fast as he could, holding his breath until he was out of the park and at the main gate. A jeep in the University of the Philippines, daily man in attendance. The jeepney driver and the last passenger. The tale, a trip in the iconic Iket, takes a turn for the terrifying in this story. A girl boarded a jeepney late at night, bound for one of the campus dorms. The driver said nothing when she told him her stop, but only met her eyes once in the rearview mirror. They trundled through the dark and silent campus, but the route he took was not one she could recognize. Afraid for her safety, she was wary throughout the ride, until the jeepney made a turn, and she found herself just across the street from her dormitory. Mildly shaken, she hurried to leave the jeep, but the driver stopped her, telling her that as soon as she got home, she should take off her clothes and burn them. He explained that he took a detour to ward off the evil spirit that must have been following her. "When I saw you in the mirror earlier," he said, "you don't have a head." Take note, the jeepneys that ply the campus even late at night are perfect settings for stories about ghostly hitchhikers. In the Ep campus, these jeepneys follow a specific color code: yellow roofs for the Toki, red roofs for the Katipunan, blue roofs for those bound for SM North, and green roofs for those bound for Philcoa and Pantranco. If you find yourself in Ep at a late hour and see a jeepney approaching, make sure it's one of those colors. Otherwise, walk away very quickly and don't turn around. Perfecto Building, St. Louis University, Baguio City. I was an engineering student back in 1998. Back then, our drawing lab is at the ground floor of the said building, and me and my friends loved going to the 5th or 6th floor, not sure exactly, since we loved checking out those cute bio students. One day in July, a dark and stormy season, we went up at around 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. waiting for the last subject to end. There was a pale-looking male student sit on the floor in the corridor reading a textbook. We thought he's waiting for a friend. While waiting for the bell to ring, we decided to go to the balcony and smoke. Yes, we could smoke back then. The corridor has a direct line of sight from where we stationed, and to our surprise, that student vanished. Not vanished, but slowly. Seems like his body slowly turned to smoke while retaining the figure, and slow you can see links before he disappeared. Me and my two friends were shocked. No one moved nor spoke for 5 minutes. That was the longest 5 minutes of our lives. We're very scared, but managed to muster enough courage to check on him. No trace was found, except that the marble floor, where he sit at, is still warm.